Hi, good evening. Welcome to our live. And today's topic is, why does your husband express himself only in one sentence? Sometimes, even in scenarios where things are going fine between you and your husband, you would most often see that he expresses himself in just one sentence. And there are three reasons for it. Okay. Number one reason is his upbringing. All boys, the way they have been brought up, um, is where most of the time you would have seen that when the boy falls, normally parents would say, no need to cry. Or they might have been told that you are a strong boy, why are you crying? Boys don't cry, right? Those kind of sentences have been told to them. So when they are, experiencing that phase of life, what they are upbringing, their in their childhood phase, they are being taught to stop crying, okay, not to cry. I mean, crying is just one emotion that I'm mentioning. Now, if a small child is being told not to cry, what is that child going to imbibe? What is that child going to learn? The boy learns that expression is a complete no no. Expression of emotions is a sign of weakness. So, what he learns is that not expressing emotions is the quality of a strong boy. This is what he imbibes when he is growing up. Therefore, expression is something which then comes under his control. And the net result is that control becomes a value. Controlling self, controlling emotions, controlling expressions becomes a value. Okay? Not controlling anger. Anger is like, a man shows the anger and that's fine. But controlling the soft side of one's own self is a value that he's brought up with. So that control is so dear to him that he is unable to express, and this is ingrained in him. I mean, he is not doing it consciously, he is doing it quite at the level of subconscious mind. So upbringing is one of the reasons where he is not able to express himself. Second, he fears that if he expresses himself, he is going to get exposed. He fears that expression will lead to he opening up to certain, he opening up to such a level that all his weaknesses are going to get exposed. His dark side is going to get exposed. We all have dark sides, right? But when it comes to the man, he fears that if his dark side gets exposed, then you will be seeing him as a weak person, a weak personality, a weak husband. Okay. Now, when that happens, or if that happens, naturally his self esteem is going to go low. He might fall in his own eyes, right? So, therefore, that fear of weaknesses getting exposed is there, which stops him from expressing himself. And how does he know that you are going to see him as a weak person, right? He is assuming, or does he really know? I'll tell you. If he opens up, he opens up emotionally to you, he begins to express himself, he is, wholeheartedly, he talks to you, and then when you listen to what he is saying, you start giving him advice, you start giving him your thoughts, your opinion, your suggestions, telling him what to do, what not to do, all the do's and don'ts around whatever he has mentioned. Now, when his opening up is followed by advice, or it is followed by some kind of suggestion or criticism, then he knows that he is being seen as a weak person. And if this has happened even once, also, he is going to shut down because he fears that, you know, uh, the way you see him, the way you connect with him, that's going to change, and he will fall in his own eyes. So there is a fear of opening up so that weaknesses don't get exposed. Third, and a very important reason, equally important reason, is that he's not able to trust you uh, with his emotions. So if there has been a scenario in your life, in your relationship, where he might have opened up just a little bit, just a little bit, and in that scenario you have not just advised, not just given suggestions, but you have blasted him. Whether you blasted him, or whether your own emotions, negative emotions, flared up, or there could have been a scenario where things are not going as how much you want them to be like. So when you go and tell him, when you go and complain, you're filled with negative emotions. So most of your interactions, he sees you as losing control on yourself. Okay. Or when he tried to say something, you got your negative emotions to the surface and you also blasted. Now if that has happened, then he's not able to trust, because he thinks that a woman who cannot deal with her own emotions, a woman who cannot manage her own emotions, she will not be able to manage his emotions as well. That's a given thing in his subconscious mind. So these are the three reasons why a man is not able to open up. Now, if you want that these things should be done away with and he should be opening up, then in that case, you got to practice to become a very good listener. When you're listening to him, you're keeping all the thoughts in your mind, all the chatter in your mind to one side, and you're listening to him as a pure listener. You're not thinking of any answers, you're not planning what to say, you're not thinking of what to respond, how to respond. You're not doing any of that. When you're listening to him, you're not judging him in your mind. When you're listening to him, you're not coming up with a question, right? So got to be listening very, very, um, I would say, in terms of an understanding person. All right. Second thing is, if you are filled up with those negative emotions, you got to know how to manage your negative emotions. You got to know how to deal with your negative emotions, which basically entails healing yourself, healing your negative emotions. Because when you are healing your negative emotions, you will experience peace, you will experience calm, and then he sees that you are able to manage your emotions. He will gradually, it will not happen suddenly, very gradually, he is going to start to open up. And thirdly, what you need to definitely ensure is that if he has opened up once, twice, or he is trying to open up, keep that information just between the two of you, limited to that discussion. Because if you use that information in a negative way at a time when you're fighting, normally what happens is when the fight gets picked up, we tend to pick up the negative side and bring it to the fore just because we want to win the fight. So if in your weak moments, in his weak moments, if you bring that topic which he has shared with you, which is sensitive, and you use that topic so that you are able to win and he loses the battle, you will know that he will never ever open up again. So what you got to be very careful is that apart from being a careful listener, you also need to heal your emotions so that you are at peace. And thirdly, if he's trying to open up, limit that information to that situation and do not take advantage of the information that he has given you. Do keep in mind that men are brought up in a certain way. Do not expect him to express himself the way you express yourself. Okay, that's going to take a lot of time. Still, the difference in expression would still be there. Okay, and this is all I wanted to share with you. And thank you for writing the questions. Some of those questions I have not taken up as questions, but these are the areas where I am taking up this as a video. And this is one of the questions that had come up this week, that one lady expressed that her husband is not, he doesn't talk beyond one or two sentences at a given time. So I thought this was important, and I would take that in the video topic. If you also have a topic like that and you want me to cover, I will not take your name and I will be happy to cover that topic. All you will need to do is just write to me either here in the comment box or privately, and I will take it up. That's all for today's show. I am going to be seeing you tomorrow, 3:30 India Standard Time. You take care. Bye.